Hi, everyone. Welcome to Elemental Flows. My name is Christina, and thank you for joining me in today's practice. Today, I have more of a strength building video prepared for you. So this isn't quite a yoga stretch or a flow itself. It is more focused on just building the strength in the arms specifically, but we will also do some strength building in the core as well. So this one, be forewarned, it can be a bit of a doozy. You'll definitely see me struggle at some parts in this video. So if you are struggling at home, do not worry, I'm here with you. I want you just during this flow to one, try your best, see what you can do. But if you need to take a break or come out of anything at any point in time, please do so. Listen to your body and give it what it needs, and then just jump right back in whenever you're ready. So let's get started. So we'll come onto our mats. We'll be in a kneeling position, and we'll just begin by opening up the body a bit. So let's raise the arms up to the sky. Grab hold of your right wrist with your left hand, and then just tilt yourself over to the left side. So we're thinking about opening up the chest to the sky. And then let's bring ourselves up. Let's turn now towards the left side and then drop the arms so we come into a twist. And as I mentioned, we're just gently opening up the body so you don't have to think about turning all the way around. Just do what feels comfortable for you. And let's return back to face the front and repeat on the other side. So let's first grab hold of the left wrist with the right hand and then tilt over to the right side. And now lift yourself back up. We turn over to the right as we drop the arms down for a twist. Let's turn back around to face the top of the mat, and then we'll just start to open up the core. So we'll begin by arching the spine, lifting the chest to the sky as well as the chin. And on the exhale, we round the spine, tuck the chin into the chest. Let's do a few more rounds. Inhale, we open up. Exhale, let's round. Inhale, open up. Exhale to round. Good, and come back to neutral. Let's go onto our hands and knees now so that we're in a neutral tabletop position. So hips are over the knees, shoulders are over the wrists, and let's start to engage the core. So we'll begin just by tucking our toes underneath us, pressing into the hands and feet so that we can engage the core and then lift our knees off of the ground a couple of inches or so. Just hold it here. Think about remaining long in your spine. And then drop the knees gently back down to meet the mat. Let's now send that left foot towards the back of the mat, and we lift that leg into the sky so that it's parallel to the mat. Engage the core. Find your stability here first before lifting that left arm out in front of you. And on an exhale, let's bend the knee and the elbow into the chest. And on an inhale, let's extend the arm and leg back out. And then drop the hand and knee to meet the mat. Let's repeat on the other side. So we first begin by sending that left foot back. Engage the core and lift that leg so that it's parallel to the mat. Find your stability here before extending that right arm out in front of you. And then let's bend the knee and elbow into the chest. And then extend the arm and leg back out once again. And then drop that hand and knee down to meet the mat. Let's now tuck the toes, press into the hands to come into our downward facing dog. So if you need to take any additional movements here, feel free to do so to help open up the body a bit. And then come to find stillness in your downward facing dog. And let's do a quick vinyasa. So we'll roll the body forward into a plank position and then bend at the elbows to lower down. Let's slide the chest forward and up to come into upward facing dog or cobra. And then release the chest back down, press into the hands, go back into your downward facing dog. Let's start to work on the core and those arms. So we begin by first lifting that right foot into the sky for a three-legged dog. Make sure that the hips and shoulders are square to the top of the mat. And then we bend the knee into the chest for a plank. Hold it here for a couple of breaths. And then let's extend the leg back into a three-legged dog. We're going to do that a few more times. So on an exhale, bend the knee into the chest. Inhale, send the leg back up to the sky one more time. Inhale, bring it into the chest. Exhale, send it into the sky. Hold it for a breath. And then drop that right foot down to meet the mat. We'll repeat on the other side. So let's lift that left foot into the sky. Make sure that the hips and shoulders are square. And then on the exhale, let's bend the knee into the chest as we come into plank. Inhale, let's send that leg back into the sky. 2 more times. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, go into your three-legged dog. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, send it up. Let's drop that left foot down to meet the mat. And we'll go through a vinyasa. So roll yourself forward once again into plank. Bend at the elbows to lower yourself down. Slide the chest forward and up for your cobra, upward facing dog. Release the chest back down, then press up into your downward dog. Now from here, let's get into the arms a bit more. So we'll begin by bending the elbows to try and bring them down to the mat. So you could either do this one elbow at a time or try to do both at the same time. And then let's press into the hands so we can lift our elbows off of the mat once again. So we're going to do that a couple of more times. So bend at the elbows to lower. Try to do them both at the same time. And then press into the hands to lift the elbows up. 2 more times. Bend into the elbows to lower. Inhale up. Bend into the elbows to lower. And press into the hands to bring them back up. Now let's bend into the elbows one more time. This time we're going to bring ourselves forward so we're in a plank position on our elbows. We'll get into the core a little bit. So engage the core, and then we're going to bring our hips over to one side and then the other. So let's begin by tilting the hips down to meet the mat nearly on the left side, then bring it back to center, and then bring the hips down to the right side, and then lift it back up. We'll do about 10 of these. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. From here, hold your plank position, and we're going to lift that left foot into the sky. Engage the core while we're here. And then let's turn ourselves over to open up to the left side of the mat. And then let's just hold our side plank on our forearms. So you can bring the sole of the foot into the inner thigh. Or you can even lift it up to the sky and grab hold of the foot. I'm not going to do that because I don't have my stability there. But find what variation works for you today. And remember to breathe. Let's go back to neutral. We're in our plank. And now let's go over to the right side. Oh, sorry, I missed the leg here. Let's first begin by lifting that right foot off of the mat. Engage that core. And now let's turn ourselves over to open up to the right side. And again, find the variation that works for you in your side plank. Good, and let's come back to neutral, and then let's lower ourselves down to the mat to come into our Sphinx pose for a bit of a rest. So we're still pressing into our forearms as we're opening up through the chest, lifting out through the crown of the head. You can see I'm already feeling it here, clearly. I hope you are too. And then from here, let's press into the hands so we can lift the elbows off of the mat to give them a little bit of a break. Good, and now release the chest back down. We're going to now bring the hands on either side of our chest, tuck the toes, and in light of this being an arm strengthening exercise or sequence, engage the core to see if you can lift yourself up in a plank position and hold it there. And now from here, we're going to bring ourselves over. So open up to the left side of the mat to come into, once again, a side plank, but now off of the forearms. So once again, you could take any variation that you want here that works for you. And maybe explore a little bit. See or try something that you might not have done before. And now let's take that left foot and place it on the mat. And we're going to drop our hips down. And as we do so, we lower that left arm down. On an inhale, we'll press into that right hand and lift the hips up as we bring that left arm over. And we'll repeat that a couple of more times. So on an exhale, we lower the hips, lower the arm down. Inhale, we'll reach back up. 2 more times. Exhale to lower. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to reach up. Well done. Let's bring that left hand down to the mat. Let's come back into our plank position, and we'll repeat that on the other side. So let's open up now to the right side of the mat. And if this is too much for your wrists, you could go down to your forearms again. Again, find what works for you in your body, and take whatever variation of your side plank that you want to try today. And now let's take that right foot, place it down on the mat. On an exhale, we lower the hips down as we lower our arm. Inhale, we lift the hips back up as we bring that arm up and over our head. Exhale to bring it back down. Inhale to bring it back up 2 more times. Exhale to bring it down. Inhale to press up. 1 more. Exhale. And inhale. Well done. Let's go back into our plank position. Let's lower down through our chaturanga. I'm going to my knees this time to give my arms a bit of a break. Lower down by bending the elbows. Slide the chest forward and up for your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to release the chest. Press into the hands and feet to press back into your downward facing dog. Take a breath here to reset. And we're nearly done. We're coming up to the end of this practice. But before we finish off, let's bend into those elbows once again to lower them to the mat. Try to walk your feet in a little bit while you're here in your dolphin pose. So you're still pressing down into your forearms so that you're not sinking the head into the shoulders. And then with the legs, try coming and inching your feet closer in towards you as you straighten your legs. Hold this pose for a few more breaths. Good. And then from here, I'm just going to go down to my knees briefly to explain the next part. So this next part, we're going to do a headstand. So if headstands are not part of your practice, feel free to not do this part and do whatever other types of poses or things that you want during this part. If you want to give it a try, please do so, but please be sure to be careful while you're here and don't do anything that might be a bit dangerous. So I only really recommend this part if you have a bit of experience doing headstands before, just because I won't be doing so much cueing during this part. So while we're here, if you want to go into your headstand, or if you want to try building up into your headstand, what I want you to first begin to do is put the crown of the head on the mat, and you'll interlace your fingers so that they rest on the back of your head. And if you're working on a headstand or working up to it, just begin from this position by bending into the knee and trying to see how this shifts your body. Where do you notice the weight transfer and change? And you can just stay here for this next bit if this is where you're comfortable at today. Another option, if you don't want to do that type of headstand, you can also do more of a tripod headstand or practice in your tripod headstand. But once again, coming up to the crown of the head, the arms are out by the sides, and then once again, just bending into the knees so that you can get used to this feeling of all the weight being on your head. Okay, so begin there if you are trying out a headstand. If you want to go for the full version, you have either option. You can either do the one where you are having your heads rest on the hand, or you could do the tripod. Pick your preference. I don't know, I might go for one and then transition out and do another one. But let's begin. If you're going up, let's start by first transferring the weight over, bend into the knees, and then see if you can lift your legs up. And once again, you could try whatever variations or poses you want to do here. So try different variations with the legs. I'm steady here, so I'm just going to stay here. And then gently come out of it when you're ready. I was fast coming out of it. You might not want to be that fast. I just was falling out, as it's difficult to talk and do that at the same time. Well, once you're out of it, let's all of us just press back into a child's pose to reset. And then bring yourself slowly back up. Let's close off this exercise or this practice with one final breath. Let's reach up with the arms overhead on an inhale. Press palms together and exhale to bring the arms down when you're ready. Well done, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that stretch and that sequence. Hopefully you feel a little bit stronger in your arms and feel it a bit in your core. Let me know how that was for you in the comments. But otherwise, I hope that I get to see you at the next one. Bye for now.